But when it comes to body composition,
Yeah.
what tips? We're approaching spring and summer, and we all have longevity goals, but we're also all vain as well.
Yeah.
So is there like an ideal diet when it comes to maintaining or losing weight in a healthy way as well?
Yeah. I really think it's just whole foods. Like I don't, at this point in my life, I have calorie counted in the past. I don't. I do definitely check my body composition. I think it's an important longevity metric. So we not only want to know, like, of course, weight, but how much muscle we have. Muscle is super important to me. In terms of diet, I think if you eat whole foods and you hit your minimum protein, you're going to be so much more satiated, right? Because if you eat protein, you're not going to have all these cravings. And then also sleep. I mean, if you get a high quality night of sleep, you have significantly less cravings because even one night of poor sleep increases your hunger hormone, ghrelin. So you're literally more hungry than you would be if you just got a good night of sleep,
Yeah,
So.
I had 5.5 hours last night.
Oh no. See, yeah.
My boyfriend, we just got back from a trip, and so he's jet lagged. I usually don't get jet lag at all. It's crazy.
That is crazy.
And yeah, he like woke up at 5 to go to the gym, but we had gone to bed at like 11:30. So I was like, "Ugh, this is not."
Oh my gosh. Well, in general, do you always go to bed at 11:30?
No, I usually go to bed. I used to go to bed around 9:30 and get up at like 5:30 to 6:30. With him, it's a little bit later usually, just because like work schedules and when we're, I don't know, it's just different. So usually I do like 10:30 to like 6:30 or 7.
Okay. I would encourage you to like bump it up before 10 if possible, because sometimes if you stay up to 10 or later, you get this like second cortisol burst, and then you might want to stay up later. And we know as women too, like getting in bed earlier is great for our production of hormones because the deepest stages of sleep, goes in about 90-minute cycle between deep REM and light, but you can get the best amount of your deep sleep if you get to bed a little bit earlier. I mean, 10:30 is still good, but I always recommend everyone getting to bed by 10.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's my dream. It's just not always.
I go to bed at 8:30 every single night.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And you get up when? 5?
Naturally, usually about 5:30. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't use an alarm clock. I've been really, grateful, but I was doing this like test because in the literature, it only says that women need about 11 to 20 minutes more sleep than men. I'm like, this can't be right. Let's just see. And so I just, optimized all my sleep. I woke up whenever I wanted it. I'm still doing that. And I need at least, usually 45 minutes to an hour more than my husband. When I'm in my like luteal phase and during menstruation, I even need more than that. So yeah, I've been doing a little bit of a test, but
and how do you optimize your sleep? What's the temperature?
Yeah.
Are you sleeping on a special mattress? Like how are we sleeping?
All the things. So I think your wind down routine is so important. It's actually been so fun because my mom's like a little into what I do, but she's here with me right now in LA. So it's been like, I don't know, like a health boot camp or something she's going through right now because she doesn't have her like regular snacks and she's going to bed early. So I'm telling her it's like so important to wind down properly. So first of all, let's start in the morning. You got to get sunlight into the eyes. We all know this because it tells your body and your brain what time it is. So it jumpstarts your circadian rhythm. Our circadian rhythm is super disrupted because we're looking at phones and TVs like late into the night and we're just blasted by blue light. So first thing in the morning, 10 to 30 minutes of morning sun. And then throughout the day, stopping eating at least 3 to 4 hours prior to bed. So anytime that I eat after like 5 p.m., I see the data in my Oura ring change and my resting heart rate is slightly higher. So if you eat earlier, your body can digest that food and you can get higher quality sleep. Also, if you eat too late, eating is a signal to our body just like light is. And if you eat too late, it will start to suppress your melatonin production. So eating 3 to 4 hours prior to bed. As soon as the sun sets, which it was about 5:30 here in LA, but now since we had daylight saving time, it's like 6:30. All my lights in my house are red. So lamps with red, orange light. My husband does like to watch television. So there's a red light filter on the TV, blue red light filters on the phone, or you can wear blue light blocking glasses, but really big for improving quality of sleep. I don't need any sort of sleep stacks, but I do make one for my husband. He does like glycine, apigenin, a little bit of GABA and L-theanine and some magnesium in there. Everyone that I've ever given it to enjoys it. Of course, if you're introducing new supplements, you want to talk with your doctor.
What is the apigenin?
It's great for just relaxing the body. All these things are really focusing on like just putting you into a more relaxed parasympathetic state. So we give him that. And my goal is to get my heart rate as low as possible before bed. So for me, that looks like just relaxing, reading, no anxiety inducing shows. My mom has been over and she wants to watch these like Dateline murder shows. And I'm like, Mom, what? This is like the most anxiety inducing thing you can do before bed. She said it's not anxiety inducing.
My boyfriend has been on a Homeland kick.
Okay.
So it's like, in the Middle East, like crazy, violent right before bed.
Yeah. So that is not ideal. No. So I always try to avoid those types of shows and do something relaxing like, a bath or, reading. Also, I do sauna about 2 hours prior to bed. That is really helpful too, because it puts you in a relaxed state, but our body actually drops down a temperature while we're sleeping. So by heating really up, our body has to fight against that and cool down. So it's great to do, but you want to make sure you do it at least 2 hours prior to bed, because if you do it too close to bed, it's going to keep your heart rate up and then your sleep is going to be compromised. So,
sorry to interrupt you, but what's the ideal sauna length?
So I think, so the research says, at least 4 times per week. And doing it for about 20 minutes. And the temperature, they're mostly done in Finnish sauna. So it's about 176 to 200 or 212, I think is where the studies put it. So that's what I do. Well, I was doing 4 times a week for 20 minutes. And now post fires, I'm doing more because, we're both in LA. And I don't know if you want to go into it, but my total toxic burden is like unrecognizable at this point because all of the burning buildings and structures, just put all of that into the air, heavy metals, dry cleaning materials, mold, spores, all the stuff. So now I'm doing it 5 times a week, but the studies for cardiovascular, reduction in cardiovascular events and longevity or all-cause mortality are 4 times a week.
And are you doing a binder before?
Yeah, I do just an easy one, like a charcoal, coconut or binder or charcoal binder, before the sauna, just to start to bind to those toxins. And I think it's really helpful. Last things about sleep is just a really cold room. So I keep it 65 degrees. My mattress is organic. I will say I'm not a fan of the 8 Sleep until I hear something otherwise from them. But I've asked them so many times about the EMFs. So electromagnetic fields, I actually sleep in a Faraday cage. So it blocks the EMFs. It's like this cage that's threaded with silver. And I have an EMF detector at home. And I've measured it outside and inside of the cage substantially lower. We also have a Wi-Fi switch. So at night it switches off the Wi-Fi. But the problem is, this in LA, even though your Wi-Fi is off, your, neighbors are so close and their Wi-Fi is probably not off. So I just sleep on an organic mattress because, again, I'm really worried about the smart mattress, right? I'm like, this can't be good for us.
Yeah.
Personally, that's
what mattress do you like? Avocado or brand?
I have an Essentia mattress. Okay. So it's like GOTS certified, highest level of certification, organic. And then of course, the organic sheets and pillows and blankets. It's interesting because VOCs are these volatile organic compounds. If they are off-gassing, so when you jump onto your mattress or land to your mattress at night, a big poof of air. So if it's not an organic mattress, it can have formaldehyde in there. It can have all these different known toxic chemicals, and you're breathing that in while you're sleeping, and it can actually disrupt your sleep. So super important to have a high-quality mattress and air filtration. So I have an insane amount of air filtration in my home, but also specifically in my bedroom because I want it to be as low tox as possible. So I have multiple Jasper air filters in there.
I have those too.
Yeah. So I have
sponsor the show.
I love that. Well, yeah. Thank you, Mike, for those Jaspers. But yeah, I have 2 Jaspers in my bedroom, and it's a small bedroom like this. So,
and that's interesting. So are they ever at different readings, being on different sides of the room? Or is it just to get that extra filtration?
Yeah, just to get the extra. And I actually keep them on 3 at night too. I don't even keep it on smart mode. I crank it up to 3. Yeah. Because I really, I really don't want any toxins going on there.
Yeah.
And, of course, dark. So my room is completely black out. I can't see my hand in front of my face because we know that not only can the light in the eyes disrupt you, but it can also, if it's hitting your skin, it can actually disrupt your sleep. So,
so with all of this, how is your Oura Ring sleep score?
It's really good. Oh, this is so fun. I get to share this today. So, it's typically about anywhere from 96 to 98 every single night.
Wow.
So, yeah, I really do crush it on Oura Sleep, which I should be, right? I'm doing an insane amount of things. So,
were there certain things that you did that improved that you were able to connect?
I kind of have been doing it all for quite a while. There are some things that Aura says when you tag it, it increases sleep. So sauna before I think is like a 2% increase. A few other things as well. But I'm excited because I just ordered a Whoop and I ordered another ring. So I've seen a lot of people on the internet with like continual like hundreds on Whoop, but Aura, you can't get 100. Like I've never known anyone to have 100. I've never received 100 on activity. Yes, but sleep, no. So I'm really excited to see what happens with this Whoop. And I'm just going to put out all the data. Like if I have a 95 on Aura, is that 100 every time on Whoop? I'm just, excited because I want to see the difference.
Interesting.
I love the data.
Looking forward to that. So, I want to talk about the movement piece of it as well, but let's kind of finish off the morning. So you did mention like sunlight first thing.
Yeah.
What else do you do in the morning?
Oh, I do a bunch of stuff in the morning. I'll try to run through it so we don't
morning routine.
So I wake up naturally. I do my oral health routine. So it is like an oil pulling. It is a tongue scraping. We have a water flosser, super important. I also test my oral microbiome. So we know that it's as important to optimize your oral microbiome, super important. So like our teeth, if you could see like a picture, have you seen the pictures floating around where the teeth and the brain, like the nerves into the brain, like it's so obvious that you have to take care of your oral health. So do that. I also have like a little red blue light. So the blue light helps whiten. The red is good for reducing inflammation in the mouth. Do that. And then I go and have my water with electrolytes.
Electrolytes do you like? Sorry,
I've just been, that's okay. I've been doing the Body Bio electrolytes. Okay. So I think that they're a good company. So do that with a big glass of water. And then I go to something called a PEMF or pulsed electromagnetic field therapy. So I have like this clinical device at my house. You'll have to come over sometime and try it all out. My house is like a clinic.
I'm like, this is my dream.
Yeah, I have like a hard shell hyperbaric chamber and like the whole 9 yards.
Amazing.
So I sit on the PEMF, which I think of it as like grounding on steroids. So if you don't have a PEMF, you can just make contact with the earth and you get a lot of the same benefits. It's just faster. So I do that. And then I do like my brain training and meditation. I do a little bit of prayer and a little bit of gratitude journaling. I say, get my mindset set before the day sets it for me. So if you don't go into your day with like how you want to feel, the first negative comment online or bad email or whatever is just going to totally derail you. So I try to do that. Then I go out, I get some morning sun. I head to the gym. I work out outside of the house right now. So I do that. And then my movement routine, essentially, I'm hitting multiple pillars. So I want to focus on VO2 max. So I do that twice a week. This has been so fun too. So I took my cardiovascular age on Aura from -6 to -11.5 in 6 months by incorporating this new VO2 max training. So for me, that looks like I do one day on the Carol bike, which is an AI powered fitness bike. And then I do one day of, they call it like Norwegian 4x4. But actually when I interviewed Dr. Stacy Sims, who coined the term, women are not small men, she told me that it's better for women to do 4 minutes by 6 minutes rest. So 4 minutes, about 90 to 95% max heart rate, followed by 6 minutes of rest instead of 4 minutes of rest. So I do that twice a week and it's been amazing for the cardiovascular age. Excited to just continue to see that number drop. Then I also focus on stretching, mobility, strength, power I recently introduced. So now I'm doing like box jumps and speed squats and speed push-ups to really keep those fast twitch muscle fibers. When I do my strength training, I do a lot of compound lifts, which I know some women might be scared of, but they're really incredible for building bone, which is so important for us as women. So once we start to hit menopause, go into perimenopause, we really start to lose a lot of our bone density and a lot of our muscle mass. So I'm always thinking, how can I add more muscle on? How can I improve the strength and quality of my bones now when it's easy? Do a lot of jumping, which is also really good for the bones. I do. And then just general cardio workouts too. I do a lot of low level movement in the form of walking, like with my husband at night. We live in the hills, so we get a like pretty good zone too. So do my workout. I come home. I used to do sauna in the morning. Now I'm doing it in the evening, so I'm not doing that anymore. But I come home, I do my red light therapy. I will do cold therapy if I'm in my follicular phase. So follicular phase, for anyone that doesn't know, is days like 1 through day 14. And so that's where we're most resilient. I'm also hitting like my hardest workouts, hitting new PRs, the whole 9 yards. So I'll do a little bit of cold therapy. We have a cold plunge at the house. And then I will take a shower. And that's about it. Then I move, like I kind of have what I call midday routine. So I do something called a Nanovi. I have my desk really like kind of set up for health. So it doesn't take the entire day to do my things. So I have a Nanovi, which is good for reducing oxidative stress and improving protein folding. So I sit with like a little nasal cannula. Then I move the PEMF machine to my desk. So I have the PEMF going. I have the nasal cannula. And I have 2 different types of red light therapy. So I have red light therapy cap for the hair growth because I'm trying to see like how thick I can get my hair. So I'm doing that with a little bit of rosemary oil and 10 minutes per day with that. I think it really works with the hair growth. And then I have an intranasal red light, which is for improving the mitochondria in the brain, which is exciting. So I just looked so crazy at my desk, like, but I don't even care.
Do you have pictures?
Oh yeah, I'll have to send you some.
I want to see.
It looks so super wild.
I've heard about this recently, the red light for the mitochondria. Can you talk about that one a little bit?
Yeah, so intranasal photobiomodulation. So if we think about what are the benefits of red light, right? We know that it can improve mitochondrial efficiency and mitochondrial health. And the brain has one of the highest concentrations of mitochondria. Actually, interestingly enough, so do the ovaries, has one of the highest densities of mitochondria. So when we're having, inefficiency or dysfunction in our mitochondria, it can potentially impact how we think and how we function. So this literally like just goes into the nose. You clip it on, and it's photobiomodulation up to the brain. And then there's a headpiece that's actually red light that we know that the light can penetrate even through the skull. So it's helping to improve the mitochondrial health. I think it works. I mean, I feel a lot of focus, and it feels really nice. So I have those 2 things. I do a lot of walks. I just do my work in like 90-minute blocks, being really focused, and then do walks in between so I can try to get as many steps as possible. One thing I forgot to mention in the morning is my biometrics. So on a weekly basis, I look at lung health. So I have a spirometer. I do body composition daily, and then I do grip strength weekly. I just hit 100 pounds on grip strength, which I'm super proud of. We have to test your grip strength sometime.
Oh God.
We have to see. Sometimes I host these female like longevity dinners. You have to come to one.
Yeah, I would love to.
And we like pass around the grip strength tester, and there's massive like variety. Like it's like super strong over here, like a little bit of needs to work on over there.
I'm in the needs to work on category.
Well, it is a longevity
right now.
It is a longevity metric, so it's super important.
Yeah. How so? So what does that tell you?
It's a proxy for overall like strength and muscle mass, right? Like we know that, and specifically for women, like having a fall, breaking a hip, being frail in general is a huge cause of mortality for women. So we need to be stronger. So yeah, that's why like everyone's like, oh, how do I get my grip strength up? I'm like, please don't use this like grip strength hand thing, because yes, it can help your grip strength, but you're not actually, you're like cheating yourself, right? Yeah. So you're not even actually getting the benefits. So improving strength is super important. And so yeah, so at home I do lung health, blood pressure, grip strength, and of course, looking at my Oura ring and my resting heart rate, my HRV, my sleep metrics, body composition. And so, yeah, I do that in the morning. And I also forgot to mention that I eat. So I do my protein coffee before I work out. I really think women do better fed. I used to do fasted workouts, didn't really go the way I wanted it to. So I do organic biodynamic coffee. I do Armor colostrum, creatine, and collagen. So I get about 15 to 20 grams of protein before I work out. And then right when I am done working out, before my shower and all that, I'll make a quick breakfast. Usually that's something like eggs, a fermented food. Like I love this fermented carrot sauerkraut from Erewhon, actually. It's great. A little bit of avocado, a little bit of like, I like their kale white bean salad too.
So
that one's really good. So sometimes I'll just have that, a little bit of olive oil. And then I do a coconut yogurt after to add more protein and fiber. So I use these seeds called Zen basil seeds, and they have like they have half of your amount of fiber that you need recommended. They have, some protein in there. So basically I want to hit all my protein requirements in just essentially 2 meals. So I have lunch and then I have an early dinner, but I also have that protein coffee. So I want to get all my protein in those 3 settings.